Final hour of trading in the session and in the week. Heading into the long weekend, here's how things stand. We are, pretty muted overall. It's as expected here. The NASDAQ 0.3% to the upside. Everything else, little changed on the day, really. Crude oil to the downside, 1%. Crypto's having a nice day to wrap up the week as well. We have Peloton making moves this afternoon. We have some little teeny tiny stocks making moves this afternoon as well. Still a lot to look at, guys, heading into the weekend.
Yeah, there's not too much going on broad market-wise, but like Brennan said there, if you dig down deep enough, there's always something to happen and or something happening, including my fantasy football draft with Neil happening this Sunday. So there's 10 of us, Arun, from high school. And if you can imagine, high school just about 5 years ago for me. So the pool's not that old. What was that, Maggie? Was that Maggie or Lucas over there? But you guys all probably laughed as well. So yeah, that's going to be fun. That's happening on Sunday. Do you play fantasy football there, Arun?
I don't know. One of my buddies try to get me into it. I can't. It's way too much of a commitment considering how much effort they put in. I see him in his group. I'm like, no, there's no way I can put in. I am a football fan. I'm not a fanatic, but I am a fan. But fantasy football is just way too much of a time commitment for me. So I try to stay away from that as much as I can. And
we'll do this one more time to celebrate Tim Hortons. If anybody knows the symbol for Tim Hortons or the parent company of Tim Hortons, put it in the chat there, and we'll give a hell yeah to you guys. Okay, let's talk quickly now. This is a stock trading show. There it is. Yeah, Arun, gonna miss you, man. Yeah, that's for sure. The last day for Arun today until further notice. Let's put it that way. And thank you again for Arun for stepping up. Okay, we again, you know, Arun and I sitting here, you know, getting ready for the show, and we saw Peloton come all the way back down. Apparently there's a article there, I don't know if it's from Forbes or Barron's or something, talking about that the Peloton app was 45 or so percent. Brendan will probably have this story for you. 45% less usage over the last couple months. It's something like that, and I don't know why all of a sudden started going right about now, but at about 2:30, I don't know if that's the news or not, but it started to crumble. It's the only thing we could find, and then I was like, okay, we're about to do that ab V play again, trying to find a bottom. Where would it stop? Stopped at 97, and I almost punched that long, and I just wish I would have. I said to Arun, I said, you know what, 4% down is not really that much. If people want to crush this thing, they will. And unfortunately for me, we didn't get long, but Peloton down there at 97 was a pretty sweet one. So watch out for that, maybe coming back in. I don't think so though. The big drop already happened. You know, if it comes back in, I'd like to go long again. But right now, Peloton on the watch for a possible trade.
Yeah, I'm noticing in our system there on the bottom, I guess bottom third, it doesn't show our positions. We do have some positions that we just need to send both of them. Nvidia, I've got a long here. We had this since the morning, 227 and change. We're long in front of 227, and here we are. We talked about this morning. I was going to try to cash out as much as I wanted to see if I can get into the 229.5 or so. Since they hesitated in front of 229 a few times, there we go. There's the update. Shanta, thank you for taking that.
I took more SoFi for you there.
There you go. So I took out some in front of 229. And then I'm holding the remaining half, see if we can't get this 230 broken by the end of the day. If we can't, trail stop on this is, where's the trail stop? Sitting just underneath 50 here. Actually, I'm actually pretty close to getting out soon. So if it keeps going down another 30 cents or so, I'm out on the trail stop. And the other position, Home Depot. It's been quite the ride on Home Depot. I got in. Since the time I got in, we were straight down. Then we went up, we went sideways, came back in a little bit. Now we are chopping back in that 330 half and change. I'm going to try to get some out here. We're running into the end of the day. It seems obviously the market's gone quiet, right? We might get some activity. We should get some activity towards the end, final half hour. I would expect for some activity to come through. But for now, Home Depot and Nvidia, the only position I'm taking. One stock that did pop up that I got a little. I just wanted to see how this went. And I saw this late, and this was IPHA. After, I guess it halted, because I didn't know what happened here at 220. And then 225, and I believe I started trading around 220, 230 or something like that when I went long. Around 825, I put a bid, got instantly filled, and as soon as I got filled, I was in the money, about 20 cents. I'm like, okay, this looks good, unless, as long as we can take 50, it looks good. That would be the halt point where we halted. Well, I got close to 50 like 2 or 3 times, and then it just bids dropped out, and as soon as it crossed 8, I just punched out. Took a 25-cent, actually a 30-cent hit on IPHA. But given the risk profile and given the way it was trading, I think it was worth a shot. And I saw it late, so I wanted to see if we can actually get through that halt price. Clearly, we couldn't. Try to go for the opposite side. Of course, what happens? You got to pay for the shorts. This guy doesn't pay for shorts. Not this late in the day anyways. If it was really going absolutely nuts like SPRT was last week, maybe I would have. But IPHA, one trade that it was a hit and a miss, and I just got some out of Home Depot just now in front of that 330.50. So we're down to half our position on both Home Depot and Nvidia at this point going into the close. Oh, actually, let me do the futures too while I'm here.
Okay.
335 and change. We still haven't taken a shot on the futures just yet. Again, I was looking for mid-30s to take a short side move. We were consolidating, we're not consolidating, we were kind of resisting these 34s a little bit. Not enough for me to go short, not with the risk profile that I would have to take. And then we got above, and then here we are approaching 40. So I haven't taken a shot on the futures just yet. And you know, sometimes this is how it goes. Trading futures is not an everyday thing at times. There are days where you don't really take a shot, and you're just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. And at some point, there will be a trade. And when that happens, if it happens today, I'll let you guys know. Brendan?
Okay, PWR, which is Quanta Services Incorporated, just popped up here. They announced today a $2.7 billion deal to buy this Blattner Holding Company. Anyway, 2% here. This is all-time highs for PWR, guys. Some volume coming into that one.
There you go. You got your 1738 fund there. You've got some fans now, Arun. Thank you so much. Free Lanks there. Lanks. Thank you so much for the $10. That will go into Arun's gullet later on.
Yes, it will. At some point, I will swing by our what we have here is the liquor store, the LCBO as we call it, and I will grab myself one of those bottles. Thank you so much, guys.
Okay, there we go. So there you go. Putting the super chats to work like Valeria does.
Immediately.
He has to put that out there immediately. I've already, now that, if you remember the first part of the show, we did have our national day, and it was National Chianti Day. So we're going to grab some of that, I think, on the way home as well. Celebrate this long weekend. I just want everyone to have a fun and safe long weekend. Spend it with family and friends, and do that. Like I was mentioning, I'm off to a fantasy football pool, and I just told the wife right now, let's watch like a fun movie. We actually just watched Big Daddy. I don't know if you guys remember that one with Adam Sandler. It's a while ago where he actually takes care of one of his friend's kids, and it's pretty funny. My kids really liked the part where the little kid was urinating on the McDonald's or something like that, and I was like, okay, let's turn this off. But they actually liked it so much they watched it twice. So I told the wife to get some recommendations. And also, I'm in a PPR league, which is points per reception. I need to find out who I'm supposed to take #1 in our dynasty draft, whether or not be Trevor Lawrence, Najee Harris, or Kyle Pitts. So I'm going back and forth there. Yeah, Happy Madison. No, it's Billy Madison, isn't it? It's Happy Gilmore. Anyways, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about quickly. I tweeted out already today, DraftKings. I did pair out some of that, and I'll tell you why. It has nothing to do with the fact that I don't believe in DraftKings. I do, and I like DraftKings. So this is not a thing where it's like I want to get out of this one. Where's my day chart? Not working right now there. Okay. Chart not responding. I will reopen said chart. But as that goes, why we like DraftKings is that there's a $64 level here on the daily chart that, I mean, I would rather just, it sounds crazy, but I'd want to get rid of some now and then buy up through 64 if and when we break that level. It's right in here. So, sorry, it's right up here. The 64 area right in here. So I'm wondering if this little run up here, although now, it looks pretty good. We're well above the 50-period moving average. I do believe in DraftKings. It's just, heading into the NFL season, I feel like there is a little bit of love right now for this spot. People buying ahead of maybe, that season and seeing DraftKings all over the place. Ads and things like that. I know they're going to be advertising this weekend at the golf championship as well. So I don't know. I'm going to sell a little bit of this, and it's only half of my swing trade. I still own it for my long-term holdings. I didn't sell that one. I do believe in this one long-term, but I'm just hoping that maybe I could buy it back in the 50s, and we'll see where that goes. So if it doesn't, great. I still have half if I'm wrong on that one. And then what I did do was I'm not sitting in cash. I just believe, and this is sort of off the SoFi trade today, that PaySafe does have a chance. Me and Arun just laughing here. Let's go charts. Come on. PaySafe does have a chance to get going off here. And I like the chart setup better than this. I believe that PaySafe, again, it's in the same area as DraftKings, meaning that I don't think PaySafe is the payment provider or processor, sorry, for DraftKings, but I do believe that they are. I know that they are for a lot of other. They have NetTeller and Skrillex and things like that. So if you've ever used them, I think it's Will Hill, to fund any of those accounts, PaySafe's taking care of that. So I think PaySafe has a monster quarter, and we're just going to, I mean, they've already reported, but we're going to wait to see what does happen with PaySafe. I believe it gets off the schneid and comes up here to 11, 11.30, 11.20, something like that, at least into this area. So from a risk-reward standpoint, I like this a little bit better than DraftKings, so that's where I rotated into.
Yeah, I noticed somebody mentioned Sava, and I agree with you. We should have shorted it because this was an idea early on, and we just never got around to it. Well, to be fair, I had an order and then I canceled. I'm like, nah, I don't think I'm going to short it just yet. This was as we were breaking. Remember, we were in like a multi-day. Let me pull this out. This was the read this morning. We were approaching the 66 level. I was marking off 66 as the top end right here, 66 as the top end and 48 as the bottom end. And we were approaching that point here around 62. And when we failed, I was like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and put the order out. Left the order out for like 5 minutes, didn't get a fill. And then as it bounced strong off this 58, I just like backed off and then moved on to other things. And then you saw what happened on Sava. Anyone who saw Sava, man, it was just an absolute destruction. Off that move from the top end of the range through the bottom end of the range, which would have been 48. And of course, this happens at what time? When I go for my daily walks. Since I'm in the office, might as well, the weather's nice. I tell you, take off, no other futures trade, so why not? And here we go, 48, and then it went another $1 before it bounced back. So at that point, the trade is gone, right? You have one shot to take the range break maybe, but then this is the multi-day setup. Late in the day, odds are you're probably gonna have to take this at another point, like tomorrow on Tuesday morning or something like that, for it to actually work out. Given that we have to be flat by the end of the day, I don't have enough time to let this thing actually get going. So yeah, this was a one missed opportunity. And to be fair, it's not even, I can't even argue that it was a bad decision, because although I missed out on the short, at that time, at that point in time, the fact that the 58 area was bouncing strong, it was around 910 or so. Unless you were watching this and knowing that we were near the top end of the range and we were kind of stalling out around 60, if you were watching for this for a good 20 or 25 minutes while that was happening, you could have read that. But I mean, we have so many stocks to look at. There's no way that was going to be something I could have caught unless I just left the order and kind of forgot about it. But hey, that's not a good strategy unless it's part of your strategy. But okay. What's up, Sean?
No, nothing. I thought you were finished. I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I was actually going to talk about getting out of SoFi here, but I did want to. I know that. See all these Ds here. Maybe you guys can put. Yeah, like look at all these D prints here. This is like what happens when you guys are. You're thinking about, hey, I use Robinhood, I use TD Ameritrade, I trade for free. Well, sometimes you get these little prints in here that are 99s, 0.2s, 0.5s, this and that. Sometimes you will. And again, I don't trade with those, so I don't know if they give you the even price or not. But this is what happens when these dark pools, they're just filling all these Ds coming through. Like they're just sitting here scalping off these trades that are coming through. Like I'm waiting here at 27 to get out. I mean, we just bought some 20s there, or 21, so we'll take a little bit of profit here as the day goes. But that's the problem, is I can't even get filled at 27 because all of these dark pools in here starting to print. Like all of these are Ds, right? So I do understand the frustration with a lot of retail clients not being able to get the proper print. Thank God we're sitting here on Trade Desk, and we actually have access to these deep prints, but for us, they're a little bit expensive to trade on them. So I'm waiting to get filled here at 27 by adding liquidity on a lit gateway, like a EdgeX or BATS or something like that, so we can actually get paid to add liquidity there. But what's up, Brandon?
Just going to talk about Joby. Remember Joby? They have these things. They came to market last month, these electric taxis they're going to start using in New York. Down big time this morning. I was just reading there was a big offering. They announced a 540 million share offering this morning. So Joby starting to come back to the upside, though. A little bit of volume coming in, guys, but big offering announced this morning.
All right.
There we go. It goes through 27. Sorry, Arun. Then we got filled there. But yeah, it's high frequency trading, algorithms, black box trading, all that kind of stuff. So that's where that's coming from. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's Robinhood or anybody routing those orders over there. But I just wanted to show you that there's a hell of a lot of dark pool printing happening on SoFi right now. So take that for what that's worth.
Yeah. Somebody was asking how did my Futu short end up? Oh, well, you see the chart right here. I got the short 106. I'm going to talk about the positions I had this morning, apart from the 102 that I have right now, because I don't see myself getting involved in the market just yet. Maybe the futures towards the end of the day. Let's get things exciting before we take a shot there. But for now, let's just talk about the positions I've had, the ones that have gone good and bad, right? So the one that was it was like a scratch almost. Was the Futu short underneath 106? We played the zone. We played the break to the downside. The multi-day move right here, and it was about $1.50 in the money though. But there was no target on this that was nearby. I was actually looking at least one around here, around the 101 to 100 mark, and we obviously bounced through the 104.50. Trail stop got me out about 15 cents in the money. That's pretty much what it was. It went from $1.50 to being 15 cents, and you can see that it was a proper way to trail this because since that point it hasn't really gone back underneath 105.50. So that's how that one ended up. The biggest winner, obviously, off the morning for anyone who saw was UPST. That was the long off the 245, getting out some at 250, and then the trail stop also getting you out underneath 250. So that was like $4 right off the open and on half the position, and then the trail stop hit the other half as well. And Nvidia seems to be my next biggest winner. AI was one of those trades I carried as well. AI, it was a nice little trade from the morning here, 50 long. As soon as we got in, we were out of the money about 80 cents or so, and then eventually it creeped its way, did what it needed to do, got us all the way up to almost 52. First exit underneath 51.5, second exit underneath 50.5. So 50 cents on the second half, $1.50 on the first half, $2 in total, $1, I guess, average. That was it. I mean, like, okay, actually, you know what? Let's talk about one of the bad trades. Caterpillar was an absolute mess. Okay, guys, this one, hopefully someone, look at this chart and tell me if you see anything that maybe I should have looked at that I didn't. Let's just play the game here. Because I went for the short just underneath 210.50, looking for some resistance or breaking of some support and acting as resistance. And then we got underneath, traded a little bit, went for the short. As soon as I got in, we were out of the money. Within like 5 minutes, maybe 5, even 10 minutes, I was out. Completely hit the stop, and that was the absolute worst decision I made today. That is the biggest loser on the day, but I'm still positive. I'm still doing well. UPSD was more than generous to pay for some losses, and we're still holding on to Nvidia. AI made some money. HD is still making some money. That's about it, really. Oh, there's one more trade that I want to bring up. DocuSign. We talked about this one, the multi-day breakout of 308. And the fact that it went to 314, I was still willing to hold on and take the trade if it came back down. Yeah, I got it. Put up $4 in risk underneath 304, 308 and change on the long. As it got into 312, I put the order out. I did not get filled. It was about 10 cents too far, and then it just kind of backed off. There was no way to manage this except for putting it just underneath the 308, and of course, we get out just underneath 308 and it never goes back down there, and now it's back at 310. So not the greatest of decisions. Try to get some out. I did the best possible thing I could have, but it didn't work out that way, and we took a hit on DocuSign. Not a large one. It was like maybe 30 cents or so on a $300 stock that was at $1.4 in the money. You know, management is management. You let your trade, you play your plan, however it is that you need to do it, you just let it go. And sometimes you take some hits, and DocuSign wasn't favorable. It moved from a $4 hit to half a dollar, so 50 cents on the loss on DocuSign. So just overall, I'm just kind of going through all my trades, guys, the good ones, the bad ones. Hopefully that helps you guys learn from what I've done, and maybe even help with your management on your own trades.
Yeah, Canadian investor, what's up, Sam? Talking to me a little bit here. I just want to say that, it's going to be probably low volatility here for the rest of September, but we don't know. I mean, the jobs report today was a little bit lower, obviously, than expected. We thought that would create some volume, but I don't know if we have the. I don't know where to find it right now on our platform or not. But total shares traded in the market probably super low right now. So I would say, you can always look at crypto and some of these moving names like a Joby today. I mean, down 13%. Brendan already brought this name to us. I thought it was well worth the risk here. We're long now at 27. Whenever they have an offering, that happened today, and it gets received quite well. We saw that with Lucid as well. There's room for it to start to run back to the upside. So again, Joby off a relatively new issue here. We all know what Joby's all about there. It's the helicopters. And then now you're coming back in here to 9,950. That might have been the bottom. I mean, whether or not 850 is there or not, but we touched 950 today. Now we'll see going back to the upside right now goes Joby. So we'll see if that's going to happen. It's a nice little win for us right now. I mean, whatever. We should take 10 cents probably here as it's starting to go back to the upside. So a nice little win. And that's all we're trying to do right now is just top it off as I look through my WhatsApp chat group right now. And they're discussing what beer to bring for the draft on Sunday. So
I think I know what Neil would say. He would go with the Innocent Gun. He was advertising that pretty hard.
Yeah, Scottish. He likes the Scottish beer. Innocent Gun. I prefer that as well. But for me, I don't really care. It's whoever comes in last has to buy all of the food and all of the booze for the pool.
That's right.
Now, interesting fact. In the 20-something years, I shouldn't have said that because it's a high school pool.
5 years.
Never come in last.
In the last 5 years, he's never come last.
Right, never come last in the last 5 and or 20 years. Wish I could say the same for Neil. We'll keep that alone, and we'll talk about that on Monday. But Neil did win last year, so congratulations to Neil on that. Yeah, so that's what we're doing right now. Okay, so that's that. Let's just keep going up. I'm going to take a little bit off on Joby here. We'll watch to see where that goes. We already took some off on SoFi, as that's not SoFi. Hopefully I push enter and my chart changes. We got a little bit out on SoFi as well. Still long from here, but we're just kind of massaging this trade. I still think we can get up at least. I mean, it's crazy that I say this. That's how slow it is right now. But I think 32, 33 should come in handy. We're dying for some information, so let's go over to Brendan before we take, or as we're going, we'll take 15 cents on Joby. What's up, Brendan?
No, little one starting to go here. I guess not starting, but already went possibly. SPIR, this is a satellite company. Another one that was a recent addition here. Huge volume spike there through 12 to all-time highs, guys. Teeny tiny though, just tread lightly on this. 11 million share free float for Spire Global.
Yeah, I actually saw this stock. Then I pulled it up. I'm like, it's done 780,000 shares on the day, and it's still got when I looked at it, it had a 15-cent spread. It's got next to no volume. The bids are going to be thin. There's maybe a few thousand shares on the offer at the moment, but it's probably because it's 1250 and a round number. I think I'm going to stay away from this. Like Brendan said, tread carefully on this one because this is going to be a spicy stock if it decides to go to the downside. I'm going to just skip this one and move over. HD bouncing back above 50 now, 330.58 it looks like. Okay, we got some out in front of 50. We are approaching the highs, which are around 330.80. So we're about 20 cents from the highs of the day on Home Depot. And if you guys have been wondering, yes, a lot of the names that I tend to hold on to and trade are some of the bigger names. Apart from the UPSTs and the AIs and the Futus, I do have the CATs, the Visas, the Home Depots, the Nvidias. I trade some of the bigger names. For anyone who's wondering why, it's just because some of those names just have more carrying power. A lot of them set up on a multi-day basis, and then you are able to kind of just trade them, not worry about the liquidity, and just go with them and let them work out. And some of the faster names, the ones that are flashy, they're great for like a day or two, and then you got to find another one, right? At least from the day trading side of things, right? Because I know SBRT was hot, and then it got really quiet. As an investment, it's a different story, but as a day trading stock, it gets hot. It's great when volatility is there, and then it goes quiet, and then you got to replace it. Versus the big names, they're always going to be there because you want to keep an eye on them. So I always look at them. I always have this list of the Apples, the Microsofts, the bigger names. I check them out. Do I like the chart? If I say yes, of course I'm going to trade them at some point. I'll prioritize those ones actually over some of the smaller names that are moving very quickly, just because I can get a better understanding of how to trade them. I already have a better understanding of how to trade them. I can get a better read on the volume and whatnot through the tape on those bigger names.
Arun, why don't we wake everybody up with a little bit of a bang right now, because there goes Joby to the upside. Wake up, America, Canada, Europe, Asia, wherever you're at. Welcome to Trader TV Live. We're going to bring some energy a little bit here. I mean, you know, it's a Friday. Everyone's just chilling out, which you should be. That's cool. But hey, man, when we're doing this, money, you know, it's time to celebrate a little bit now. So here's 30 cents in the money now for Joby. I thank Brendan for bringing this to our attention. There it is right now, still going to the upside. We did take out some here at 41. Let's wait to see where we go now. But Joby getting excited into the close here. 1080, 1090 maybe coming on Joby. I don't really have a spot to think about where to get out of this one. I'm just going to put a stop, I think, back to 1050 maybe. But here it goes, man. 1060 coming. I mean, we're long at 1026 here. So this is going to be a good trade for us. And again, here it goes back to the upside. I always want to look for this. Maybe now we can think about this. What draft on Sunday? Yeah, my football draft, fantasy football draft. And I'm in 2 leagues. I love that. Thanks for asking. John Costello there on the chat. Okay, up to the upside here. We're still trying to rip upside. 1080, 1070 or so right here. There it goes. Just fell apart there. We were looking at that. I said we should have put a stop order at 1050. Here comes back in. Let's try 1060 one more time. If we're lucky to get that, let's take that out. But hopefully some of you did as well before we hit that money, money, money celebration sign. Here it comes right back to the downside now. Joby, but it was a nice win and it woke us up a bit.
There you go. Wake us up. Going into the long weekend, guys. Remember, no show on Monday. Neil's back, Sean's back, Valeria's back, everyone's back on Tuesday. So no show on Monday, guys. Labor Day here in Canada, US, in North America, there is Labor Day. So a day off for everybody. Take a nice little break away from the markets, reset, mentally reset, come back in September after, you know, everyone's had their vacations and whatnot. Expect it to have a lot more volume than today. I would say typically what happens is that the first week, the shortened week after Labor Day, is still somewhat quiet. It'll be more active than this week, but it'll be somewhat quieter than you would expect it to be. And then it's the following week where it's the full week where you get a ton of activity. Of course, you can be pleasantly surprised on any day, any given day on the market. So just be aware that long weekend coming up next week on Monday. Okay, Nvidia, again, we're about 20 minutes, 25 minutes away from imbalances coming out. Nvidia is probably going to have an imbalance. Okay, we'll leave Nvidia alone actually, because it's almost about to get stopped out on the trail. We'll leave that alone. We'll keep an eye on Home Depot, because Home Depot is probably one where I can actually move the trailing stop a little bit, because it is approaching the high. 330.80 is the high. I think at this point, if we back off the 350s, 330.50 again one more time, I think it's time to just walk away from this trade. So yeah, I'll move the stop actually on this. I'm gonna move the stop on this just below 40. See if we can get this move towards the highs. If we come back underneath 40, I'm just gonna walk away from Home Depot and lock in a good, what is this, a 33-cent winner? Well, yeah, not bad. We took 40 something cents on the first half, and we'll take 33 cents on the second half. Nice way to close out the week. It's been a nice week overall, so I think that's a decent winner. And see, of course, if it takes the highs, you might actually get 331 on the top end. So if we can get a runner going into the close, remember, we are expecting some activity, relatively more activity from the index side of things, specifically in the futures, just because some closing programs do need to be run going into the long weekend, and typically brings volatility. For anyone who's wondering, oh, that tends to be sell side, not necessarily. I've seen some closing programs going into long weekends on the buy side, aggressively on the buy side. So you really don't know until it happens, and of course, when it happens, too late. So you can't even predict which direction it wants to go. But when you get a feel for it, sometimes I'll step in right in the final few seconds just to get a little push in the direction that programs are going. We'll see how that goes, but I may or may not do it depending on whether I can actually get a read in the final 30 seconds or so. So yeah, so just be aware, in about 22 minutes, we're going to have an imbalance, and we should get some pickup in activity, especially across the index names. Let's take a quick look at Apple. Apple's up just under 0.5%, not doing a whole lot. Is Microsoft up? Microsoft also up 0.25%. You're not seeing a whole lot of movement, actually, in the index names. All about 0.25%. Facebook, I just checked. Google, what is Google doing? Just under 0.4. So not a whole lot of movement on the day. So you are getting a lot of activity across non-index stocks or the non-major index stocks. So I checked out the big names, not a whole lot there. One name that does seem to be setting up, take a look at this for another day. Not going to be for today though. CRM. CRM looks like it's, what is CRM? I thought CRM was New York. Yeah, it is New York. Okay. CRM setting up just above 267. If we can get above here, we need to trade above here and kind of work our way through. It can be, like, you can give it space between 267 and 268, but if you get above that 268 marker, once we get above 267, it has to grind. And once you get above 268, you're gonna have that entire zone as support, because I'm going back to the first a couple days ago, we kind of supported this 268, and then once we broke it, we kind of resisted this 268/267. Here we are again at 267, so if we get that move above, you might be able to get it long above 268 going up to 270, and if you clear 270, I think you got to look at 273 as the high. So just keep an eye on that for tomorrow. I won't be here, so I'm just putting out the stock for you guys. Keep it on your watch list maybe, and come back to it another day, but that is one thing to keep an eye on. And here we are going about 20 minutes into the close, into the imbalances.
Just trash talking some of my friends here on fantasy football, so you can imagine how that's going. Okay, let's get ready to rock and roll here as we move forward. So yeah, it looks like Joby, I mean, we took out half there for that big, well, not for a big one, but for 20 cents or so, a little bit more than that. And then it went up to 1060, and then it fell right back down in. So right now, we're gonna wait to see if it can back up to 1050, 1055 or so. That should be a good level for us right there. So I'm talking about NEO. We could see MMAT today as well, Metamaterials. Early trade right there, bang, we put that on our list, and then it went all the way up and came all the way back down. So MMAT kind of just chilling around that $5 area. I saw Vinco Ventures started to go a little bit there off the bottom, which it did again, 7. Wow, I mean, we talked about this earlier today about these $7 levels and trying to be able to pick certain levels, even though the stocks, you have these huge wicks. There is some support here. We talked about that 660, even $6, and then again here at 7. And then look what happened today. We went exactly down to $7. And again, we're doing too many things here after the show is done, but that's right back down to 7 and change. That should have been bought, ripped all the way to 8 or so, which again is another high level. So let's wait to see where that goes from here. But that is a good trade, hopefully moving forward. But BBIG right now, not a whole hell of a lot happening there. Let's check out SPRT. Another, wow, $22. Okay, another runner that we had on earlier, not today, but earlier on in the week, makes a bottom of 20 all the way to 24, and now it's chilling again. That's that 24 level on SPRT. That again, oh shoot, that's still the wrong chart. Maybe we can get that loaded up. Okay, SPRT hit that 24 level a couple times. We talked about that with FCUV yesterday, as that was a runner. We could see if that's doing anything today. Only 5 million shares on FCUV today. Focus. And that makes that bottom, yeah, that was that 24 level right there on FCUV yesterday off the halt. If you guys remember that, I know Sterling Silver I believe he covered anyways, but I know that was a good short there. Now you can see where that is. That's 100%, that's a double win there from 24 basically down to 12, well, 13, I guess, today if you held that all the way to the bottom. I don't know how you're gonna predict those kind of moves. And then today we started off again with NEO, was a very, very good trade off the open, and then it failed miserably down there. We were able to hit that pretty good off the 1 minute chart, the break out there. We have pretty much the high of the day at 41 as an out. Then we went long again and hit that. And then, this is the thing. Look at this. This is a small hit compared to those wins. I mean, it's the same sort of ratio, but how many outs we have there, we lose on the last little bit as it drops back down in. So I don't know, man. I don't really want to make any crazy predictions here heading into the close. I'm glad everybody's with us. If there's any stocks you want us to look at, we will. HUT, IMPL, we can do that as well.
Oh yeah, IMPL. Why does that name sound familiar? I feel like we were looking at this earlier. I was looking at this earlier. Maybe not. Okay. Chat asked me. Somebody asked me in the chat. Off topic here. What's my favorite team? NFL. Okay. So I have never been on one specific team. I just enjoy watching a game, and depending on the game, I'll pick a side, right? And sometimes it has no reason apart from just the fact that, hey, if my buddy wants to pick that side, I'll pick the opposite side. I really don't have any allegiances. I enjoy the game just to watch the game. And that may go against the whole point of being a fan, but I'm just a fan of the game if that makes any sense at all. Sean, does that make any sense? Can you be a fan of the game and not have an actual allegiance to a team?
Yeah,
okay.
Of course.
Okay, there you go. That's me. So if Sean's on one side with the Packers and
I'm a huge fan. I mean, I'll watch football regardless, but I do prefer to have either some money on the game or some players in the fantasy, like I'm talking about. I don't love just to watch generic games.
Okay.
But like, I'll definitely Sunday afternoons are set up for football. And yeah, if there's nothing else on, I'd definitely like to watch it. I have an interest in the sport in general. CFL is pretty good too, if you ever catch some Canadian football.
Yeah, I've watched a few games now. It was kind of, I didn't even know they were back because they've changed it. They used to go consistently, Friday nights and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And now I think they're doing Tuesday night games too and whatnot. And not a whole lot of TV watching done right now for me anyways. So let's just go back to HD here. That's the one position I got to figure out what I want to do with. Okay, HD approaching 331, taking up the highs. Okay, so I guess that 340 should hold going into that imbalance. So we can let that one ride out and see if we can get a positive imbalance to break 331. Of course, guys, in about 15 minutes, we're going to get an imbalance come out. If the imbalance were to come out positive, you're going to see HD, specifically on HD is what I'm talking about. If it were to come out positive on HD, on Home Depot, you're going to see this break 331 and keep on going. That's what we're banking on here. See if we can ride that out and let it go. And we're going to wait for Nvidia as well. We've taken some profit in this area already. So why not just let it go? Its trail stop is about 35 cents or something down below where it's trading right now. So we're just going to wait for that one to trade out. And what else we got? CRM breaking to 267. I just mentioned this. There's no way I would trade this today, but anyone watching, keep an eye on 267/268 for another day. And futures, let's just take a quick look at the futures here. Yeah, flirting. They're not doing a whole lot. I mean, how much volume was done on the futures? Less than 1 million shares since our servers have been up. Under 1 million shares on the day is kind of 1 million contracts on the day is actually kind of very low, actually. Typically, I think we do somewhere around 1.6, 1.7 million contracts on the day. And here we are sitting at 923,000 apparently as of right now on our system. It could be off by a little bit, but there's no way it's gonna be off by like 600,000. So quiet day overall, guys. Just be aware. I mean, expectations, set your expectations, right? And we're almost done. Like 24 minutes, we go into a holiday and we come back, we get some more volume. Markets are gonna start moving and we can all make more money after we come back from the holiday. But for anyone who's in the money now, start thinking about holiday time because locked in your profits. That's what I'm doing, tightening everything up. So I'm not going to give back too much. And I can close this week out strong. And what else do we have here? Oh yeah, you know what? Somebody mentioned a stock that I actually had on my list earlier today. FBRX. I just saw this in the chat. And it was a stock I was looking at earlier. That's why I was like, oh, that sounds familiar. And it was a gap down. I believe there was news, something related to their endpoint trial, like it was a drug-related trial miss or something, or it didn't meet the statistical significance or something related to their trial that wasn't good. Anyways, so you had this gap down into 6 even. And I was looking at 6 going, well, you know what? If we can get above 6 and trade above 6, I actually might go for the long. We got there and we never really traded. We got there and couldn't stay above, sustain any buying, and it just kind of continued that gap down move to the sell side. So, I mean, there really isn't a whole lot you can do with this unless the stock wants to come back above 6, trade. And even then, if there was not going to be a snapback bounce today, I don't know how much of a bounce you're going to get on another day after this news has already been digested. And clearly, they want to sell this down from pretty much 6 even down to 4.94 now. We've come down a full dollar on a $6 stock. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. Sean, IMPL, you were talking about somebody in the chat put up IMPL today, or just now, actually.
Yeah, no, IMPL was, again, they had that, I think it was the nasal spray earlier. They had that FDA approval real early in the AM, and then you get this crazy spike up, IMPL. And again, this is what happened. Oh, God. I was just, okay, hopefully this my daily chart will load up. I was just talking about how there was no volume at all, and then all of a sudden it spiked up and people got carried away again here. And I just, even when this happened, if you want to rewind the show back to this morning at about 9 o'clock when this happened and everyone was going crazy on the chat, I just said, guys, just be very, very careful because you have no idea what's going to happen when things like this come out. I don't know what the news is now on IMPL. I'm guessing that it was not what everybody thought, because now we're falling right back down, and we're in fact down 18%. We were up 65% here at one point, and now you're down. So IMPL not having a nice run here in the afternoon. So anybody that bought anywhere in here, again, it's everyone's own money. Everyone can do as they see fit, but at the same time, you got to try to, even when there is news, you got to kind of watch out for some key levels. I can't really blame anybody that bought in here 23, 24. We may get back to the upside. I'm wondering if there is a story on IMPL now, because it is all the way back down and really not much happening right here on IMPL right now, other than a move to the downside. Maybe if we get this kind of a break at 2050, but again, with only 20 minutes left, sorry, I don't see this as being a possibility to that. Let's check back in on Peloton quickly. Was buying that 97 bottom a good look? Yes, it was. And now CrowdStrike. I see that super chat. I will talk about CrowdStrike right now. CRWD quickly 278 and change. I will look at this, but Brendan's coming with something.
Just saw this MongoDB popping up again. MDB having quite the day, guys. 26%. So day highs just taken out once again. Which is also all-time highs. If you remember, we talked about this one this morning. Software maker, they reported aftermarket yesterday, better than expected. So good earnings for MDB, all-time highs.
That was one stock that was on my radar this morning. I put it at 460. It was trading at like 458 something, and I was like, you know what? If we can get above 460, I want to get involved. And then never got it, actually. It didn't even go off of my alert system. And then obviously the open came and we took off from 460 right to 480, and then it kept going another 10 bucks, and then it stalled out. I saw it when I got to 500. I'm like, there's no way I'm trading this late in the day with this thing at 500 bucks. And then it went another 6 bucks. That trade I don't care for, but that 460 still bothers me to this point, because it was on my alerts, and it was a pre-market price. So the alert doesn't base it on pre-market movement. It bases it on opening prices, and once the market's open, it'll update. It's a setting that I need to change. I just never got around to changing it, and there you go. That's what the price you pay for not setting things up properly. Oh, that one still bothers me right now, actually. MDB through 460 all the way up. Okay, do you want to go through CrowdStrike, actually?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, I like CrowdStrike. I like the business that they're in. Obviously, this was something that should have been had like on IPO. I mean, you want to talk about a successful IPO. I'm not, I don't need that. I'm not sure what price this IPO came out at. I thought it was like near $60, and I guess that's right. Yeah, wow, okay, it is $60. I saw it dip down to 30. Wow, CrowdStrike down to 30 bucks there. And now you're, like, this is the thing. This is March, oh, that's why, it's March of 2020. This reminds me of Square. Now that I see this is almost the exact same trade as Square, guys. If you look at this, $35, right, up to right where we're at right now, $270. So CrowdStrike, with all of the hacks happening and cybersecurity definitely being talked about more and more every day, I believe in CrowdStrike, and I think that this is a great stock. We've already bumped up off of here. They had a great earnings report. They're above the 50-period moving average. I believe you can go long CrowdStrike until it breaks back down below this 50-period, which is 255. And then if you did really, if you really like the stock, I think you can hold it back down to 229. The only thing is about all of these names, I'm just nervous that if we don't get a very good reaction here in September, where does money come out? And I think a lot of people take money out of these high flyers. So that's part of the reason why we're out a little bit of DraftKings there. And I don't know, it's just this is well done. It's cooked up here. And I like CrowdStrike a lot. Thank you for the super chat on this one. I like it a lot into this consolidation. What a great spot. And if you can get it anywhere back down here, I think it's a great buy as well. Back down to that 50 50-period moving average of 255, 260, something like that is a great buy. And we are primed to take this out. A couple more upgrades, and this thing breaks 300. Normally, when stocks break 200, their next stop is 225, and then so on. You tick up every quarter. So I like it for this one. I think that CrowdStrike does go back up, and you do have a nice base here at 230, where right here, we went down, we flirted with it, back to the upside. 230 seems to be a good hold spot there for CrowdStrike. We are back into Joby as well right now, as that comes all the way back down to the level that we like. So let's see if we can't get a winner out of this one, as the day is almost coming to a abrupt end, which is fine for us because it is holiday time. And with that being said, we look over here at any imbalances in Toronto, and it's just our friend Enbridge right there, who I pay my gas bill to every single month. So thank you to Enbridge for providing me and my family with gas into the house. I don't know if you are renovating or looking to do anything like that, Arun, but one of the best decisions I ever made, especially with 3 kids, was a gas dryer.
Oh.
Yes. Paid a little bit more money, but got the gas dryer. Very, very efficient, and you don't have to pay those crazy hydro bills.
Very nice. Okay. A tip to keep in mind. Anyone else?
Maybe that's a new segment, like
home renovation tips.
Home efficiency.
Home efficiency tips. There you go. Yeah. Okay. On my screen, guys, I've changed up the chart. This is one of the charts from eSignal that I'm using. Okay. The reason I pulled this up is when Sean mentioned money coming out of the high flyers. I just want everyone to take a look at, this is the Qs, also representing the NASDAQ indexes. Qs, the ETF, that's the representative of the NASDAQ index. So the NASDAQ 100. You see this move. This is the weekly chart of the Qs. It's pretty much from April of last year, August. Let's call that the beginning of the coronavirus situation globally. Since that point, since that drop, in late February going into March, and then from that point on, we've pretty much run all the way through August. Late August, we kind of dipped in September a little bit, and here we are going again. The angle of this movement at some point has to slow down. So if money were to come off, you're going to see this money come off from the big, as Sean mentioned, the big names, the high flyers. You have the individual high flyers as well, but then you have the tech index absolutely on fire. And let's just switch over to the spiders. And you have the spiders going absolutely on fire. So the reason I would lean on the tech index is because the weighting is so much heavier towards certain names in the tech index, so they're going to be more sensitive to drops than the S&P. S&P has 500 stocks in it, NASDAQ 100 has 100. And the weighting is slightly different. So just be aware that this pace of movement, this is a weekly chart, and you can see this angle. There's no way this can be sustained forever. At some point, this has to slow down. So just be aware that if a move were to happen, it's going to come out of names that's going to be heavily weighted in these indexes. I would imagine some profit taking to be done. So the Apples of the world, the Microsofts of the world, and then you have the individual high flyers like the squeeze stocks and whatnot that are sitting at lofty valuations. You have Tesla sitting at 700. You could argue the case for it being up there, but at the same time, at some point, people are going to take profit, right? And there might be an opportunity for a dip buy, which is a healthy thing because it allows the market to kind of reset a little bit, allow new buyers to come in and continue that move to the upside. Just be aware that this trend to the upside is aggressive, it's linear, the angle is ridiculous, and at some point, you are going to have to get this to slow down. When? I mean, that's anyone's guess, really. You react as the information comes in front of you. You can't really predict it. We're not here to predict it. We see what we see, and then we make trades based on what we see. We're not predicting anything. We obviously have expectations, but we're trying our best to make educated guesses based on what we see. And if there were to be a 10% drop, as people that has been talked about, when does that happen? Does it happen in September? Or does it happen because everyone's looking for it? Maybe not. Maybe everyone's buying the dip. You never know. So it's not a matter of trying to make that assumption. It's just be prepared. If it were to happen, you don't know, but just be aware that you do have to trade accordingly whenever it does. Just be prepared for it, and that's all you can do. Trade the information that comes in front of you, not what could potentially happen. Right? You prepare for those scenarios, but when you get that information, that's when you make your decisions.
I think that's the most important thing. We make our decisions on that every day here. You gotta. without having that crystal ball, it is very hard to predict something and where it's going. But we look at the charts and we try to make an educated guess on that one. So, okay, with that being said, people are asking for swing plays and things like that. It's like I'm a holder of SoFi way and small. I haven't added to it, and I don't know if I will. I'm a holder of SoFi back at 1850 or so, right in here. This drop spot, when we dropped down, I thought we were sort of picking it up, and then all of a sudden, bang, 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 earnings came, bang, all the way back down. So this has been a bad one. But you know, if you're interested in it, I think this could be a name here that, you know, we could see $16, which is not a huge trade, but, you know, by Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, a couple bumps up here. I do believe in the name, so you can watch out for SoFi possibly making a move higher there into next week. I think that's not bad for a swing. And then honestly, the C3AI, I mean, you know, bad report yesterday, bad quarter, bad everything. Fell down. If I can ever get this to load up, I'd like to show it to you. But I think I'm wondering if I need to reboot my computer.
It's probably a good thing
because it
to
seems like it's definitely bad. Well, I mean, it gets rebooted all the time, but I mean, at the end of the show, I think C3AI there, off of a horrible number yesterday, you know, came all the way back down, tested this 47, 48 area, and it's already been down here a couple times. 48 there, 44 there, and they're in the right space, I believe, anyways. And so if, you know, this name could get going as well. I don't mind C3AI, especially if we take out that 50-period moving average at some point next week, which is only $53. So, I mean, we're pretty much there today. The day high today is 52. So we're getting off that stock, and I think we can get to the upside on AI. So look for some, I mean, it's just like ASAN, right? It's still going to be. Yesterday we had this one, and we liked the long. I thought this was, oh God, man. I thought this had a chance to go here off breaking this kind of a level, and you saw what happened yesterday. We actually dipped back down into 79.80, and then there's a nice move back to the upside. So, you know, it's this kind of consolidation, and then a big beat from Asana yesterday creates this kind of a movement here today. Wish we would have saw this earlier. And I talked about having second day plays. Asana might be one. So that's a couple names there to play with. We do have the imbalances out right now, and we'll call them up a little bit here. Whoops, there it is. Elon, so yeah.
ELAN.
Yeah, ELAN.
ELAN 1.6 to the sell side.
Citigroup.
Apps 1.3 to the sell side. Citigroup 1.3 million to the sell side. ARMK, what is that? ARMark? ARMK 935,000 to the sell side. So the top four numbers, or the top four names that you're going to get are three sell side imbalances, the largest ones. I mean, do you want to do anything with this? I don't know what you can do with this.
You're not feeling
no.
Elanco Animal Health?
Animal Health, $34 stock, 1.6 million shares to the upside. What is this?
No, I was just kidding around. I mean, I don't know.
870. Oh, you know what's interesting is though it's only done 871.
I know, and the pair's already.
And
84.
84,000. It's got 1.6. Keep an eye on this one. It's actually the imbalance is twice as large as the daily volume for the day. So if this can hold into the after 355 into 359, you might actually see a move in ELAN. On the imbalances, off the imbalances anyways.
The thing about this ELAN too is that, see, it's a sell right here, so you can mark down S, but the thing is it's not really moving. So to me, that means that, hey, this probably gets paired off. It's probably a nothing burger there. Citigroup on the way down as well, sell side. Let's see how that's affecting the stock. Oh, no. We have the bad wick there, so we can't even see that right now, so we won't pass on that one. Microsoft on a buy side, still hanging above that 300. I remember trading this thing like, I mean, I've been talking about this, 240, 230, I mean, whatever. This is one of my favorite stocks. Those of you that know Mr. Softy, now starting to get some love off 300. There's that bid imbalance that just came in. So we were down at like 301 or so, and it just spiked up 25, 30 cents on that bid imbalance. So there goes Microsoft. I think we're just about to close out some of these positions. It's only 8 minutes to go now. I hope everybody enjoys their long weekend. We are back on Tuesday. It should be a fun day, and yeah, that's about it for us here. We're looking at a few names. I don't mind that Elan. We'll see where that goes. Clover as well, another name that we talked about earlier, and there was a lot of love for this on the morning show when it was starting to go, and then it just got faded right back down. I am a buyer of Clover. Like, again, I think, again, the right space, you know, you're in the health space, the population is getting older. you know, some of these names are good, man. Just like Pfizer. Where's Pfizer at right now? Pfizer dipped down to 45, 46, still here, 46, 47. Moderna was taking out 400 again today as we can go. So I think Pfizer, again, with a dividend is something to be bought. Let's check out Moderna just real quick. It was bouncing off 408, and then it took that out, and now it's at 413. So Moderna, I guess they were talking about their third booster, getting some kind of, again, come on, look at this. Again, getting some kind of love on their third booster today. So a nice little move back upside. And look at that. I mean, this is a beautiful base for Moderna as well. You want to talk about a swing trade. What about 416 right now going long Moderna? This thing could pop huge again. So just watch out for that, especially if the variant gets out of control and there is a necessity for more shots. Don't know if that's going to be true or not, but Moderna looks like a real nice one. It's too bad it's not in the middle here, where it'd be a much better long at 380 or so, but Moderna looks primed to go again as well.
Yeah, so I pulled up the imbalances for a Home Depot because that was the final position I was in. Home Depot came out 8,000 shares to the sell side, so I'm not going to get any help through 331 off the imbalances, so I'm just going to walk away. You see, I don't know why it went purple because I actually got out.
Oh, it's because you have an offer higher.
Oh. Yeah, so I got out. I'm fully flat at this point. From 330 long, we got some out just underneath half and just in front of 330.50, and it looks like we got, 75 and change on the remaining half. So we're fully out. A nice little 50 and 75 cent winner. We'll average that out to about 62 cents or so on the full position. A nice way to walk away, and Nvidia got hit on the bottom end as we broke through 228.50, probably a negative imbalance there. So walk away from both of those. I've put up ELAN and Home Depot. I should just take away Home Depot, actually. I just want to keep an eye on ELAN going into 355. Let me actually zoom in on this and make this a 1-minute chart just to see the reaction when we get an update from the floor on what this imbalance is actually going to be like. Because if this were to stay a sell side, I can see this thing moving right back through 334 even and back down, because we came up from 33.90 and change. In about 12 seconds, you're going to get that update. I want to see what this number looks like, because if it flips to the buy side, we may have a move to the. It's going to move whichever direction the imbalance is going to go. Right now, it's 1.6 to sell, and it is going to stay 1.6 to sell with no move. This is really weird.
I don't know what the,
I don't know what
there's something about, maybe there's an index waiting or something like that. Hey, how come I haven't seen my good friend Valeria yet? Maybe we can throw her on and I can wave to her at least because she's back. There she is. Hi, Miss V, how are you? Good, there she is. Yeah, I caught her off guard there, so thank you, Ms. V, for that. So there we go. We're just getting ready. We are now flat on everything, man. We cleared out Joby. We took out Palantir and SoFi, not really moving. Joby right there. You know, whatever, in here, out there, in here again, out and out. So that's a winning trade to close out the show. And then Palantir really didn't do any dances for us at all. It basically barcoded all afternoon, like many, many names that many of you are most likely looking at. So yeah, not much happening. Someone said don't bag hold over the weekend. I think that's great advice. If you are holding anything, you may want to lighten up in the next couple minutes. We can't predict what's going to happen, but there were some up and down here. Have an awesome weekend to you too, Elaine. Thank you so much for that. You know, again, we love our team here and our family on the chat. So thank you so much, Elaine. You and yours have a great weekend as well. And we are back on Tuesday. You can find me at Trader TV Sean. Arun has decided to be off of socials.
You can't find me.
You can find. I think you can find him. I just won't tell you where. But you can get Neil at Trader TV, Neil at Trader TV, Sean and Brendan. And then we do have our main account as well. The one thing, public service announcement, none of us, unless there's something happening that I don't know about, Brendan, myself, or Neil will not be sending out any, crypto things related that, hey, there's a lot of fake accounts out there. Do not send us ever any Bitcoins or anything like that. Make sure that the spelling is right. There's Trader TV Sean out there with 2 N's, 2 V's, things like that, both on Instagram and on Twitter. All you can do is report. I actually been reporting every single time someone lets me know, but please just report it yourself. I'm doing it as well. I'm even sending in my ID to prove who I am, and then Twitter gets right back to me and they go, okay, we banned the guy, but then he signs up again. So I don't really know what's happening. If it's broken down English, that's a very key spot. Someone sent me the message. I hope I don't write like that, but sometimes I do. but
they're saying get a verified account. Your account is verified, no?
You can't. I can't. I tried to get a verified account. Actually, Maggie mentioned this to me as well. And you need like, it's crazy. I applied and I got denied. So I don't know what's going on. I only have 27,000 followers or something. But it's about, I think it's about you need verified, like you need press credentials or something to be in the industry that we're in. I'm going to try it again. But anyways, if anybody knows anybody at YouTube or at Twitter that verifies on Instagram or on Twitter, let me know and just DM me because I believe that would help.
Yeah, okay. I'm just looking at ELA and going, what is going on here? We've got a sell side imbalance, it's shrinking, and the stock is going up. I'm just like, none of this makes any sense to me. I'm just looking at it, keeping myself entertained, because at this point I'm flat. There's nothing else I'm going to do. Futures, I guess we can get active. I mean, they might get active. I'm not going to do anything. At this point, the way it's moving, there's no way I can get a read on whether it's look at where we're sitting. We're sitting at 34. We can go in both directions. We can either bounce off 34 upside, we can break 34 or go down to 30. So there's no way I would take a shot on the futures. Sometimes I do, but at this point, at this price point, there's no way I would get involved on the futures. So that's done. It's just a matter of looking at ELA and what 800,000 left on the imbalance. They've paired. I don't know. This is something's not right with this because the pair value should actually be larger if this imbalance was shrinking, but the imbalance is not shrinking, and the pair value,
the imbalance is not moving. There's something wrong.
Yeah, something's wrong with this. Even though it's updating, something the data might be off a little bit.
I just got to say a big shout out here to SWW. That's funny. Send me some BTC and I'll verify you. That's great because that's exactly what's happening out there. And Angel F, man, you felt special when you received a message from Brendan, but it wasn't him. I mean, you can tweet at us. I respond and respond to DMs and messages almost on the regular, as I know Neil and Brendan do as well. So we do respond to you. Buy Fake Sean. Someone said Fake Sean tried to sell me weed. Yeah, no, that's not going to be happening there. Nigerian Sean, yeah, no, that's not me as well. Anyways, yeah, there's a lot of fake ones out there. This is why I love our chat, man. I mean, it always keeps us entertained as we go, but we only have a few minutes left. We'll start the countdown a little bit early because I know that it does take time for the countdown to get going there, so we will start it a bit early. Right now, that was a little bit too early because now we only have 5 seconds left. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hit that. The market is now closed, and that puts an end to your run, Arun.
That's right.
Thank you so much. You can now go home and swear to yourself that you'll never do that again. No, we do appreciate it. Thank you so much, Arun, for coming out. Any last words of wisdom to our crowd?
No, absolutely. Just keep whatever. If you guys have learned anything from me, just keep learning. That's all I can say. This channel is all about learning, and it doesn't matter who you're learning from. Just keep learning, because at the end of the day, everyone's just trying to get better and make more money as a trader, and that's what we're here to provide. And we try to be as transparent as possible. You see, when we talk about trades, we're not pretending. It's all real. These are all real shares. These are all real market moves, and we're doing it live. So if we're wrong, you're going to see it wrong. I was wrong on CAT earlier today instantly, and you saw that. You can't hide from that. So it's all out there for you guys, and hopefully you guys can keep on learning and hopefully keep on getting better and make more money in the markets. I will be here in the next couple weeks, randomly throughout the next 2 weeks or so.
Hit the pew.
There you go. Just for you guys, one more shot there on my pew. Over the next 2 weeks, I'll be here a few times, and hopefully we can just keep on learning and get better as the market goes on. And of course, I'm going to be there in the mornings around 9 a.m. Do a quick futures updates. I'll give you guys the levels, same thing as I did here at the desk. And we keep going from there, and that's it. Really.
Yeah, I think we could work on an Arun T-shirt or something. That would make a lot of sense. That should be fun. So Arun is a legend, and we thank everybody, especially Lucas and Maggie, doing everything by themselves today on the 1s and 2s. So have a great weekend, guys, for that one. Ooh, a new view. There it is. I like that. Wow, fancy time view there. You got to make sure the desk is cleaned up if we're going to do that view. Although I don't know which one's better. The one down there, but I like that. That was a good one. Thank you so much. We didn't even go to Brendan yet. Oops, my bad. Brendan, what's up? How do we finish up?
I mean, it's not like there's much to say, guys, but we'll point out a record high for the NASDAQ. How about that? 0.33. That's a record close. Everything else is, kind of boring.
Do a little celebration there because it's a record there, and we'll hit that celebration. So for everybody here at Trader TV Live, we do have our trade of the day coming up, so stay tuned for that one. It's going to be just talking about that breakout on SoFi. Was it SoFi? What did we do? Wind up
we
doing?
Did.
Okay, we did. We're debating between the materials, metamaterials, and SoFi, but we went with SoFi there. So we'll talk about that. I want to thank Ms. V and our whole team here. For everybody at Trader, there she is. Peace. For everybody at Trader TV Live, thank you for watching. Enjoy the weekend, and we are coming back to you on Tuesday. Have a good one, family.
Bye-bye.